Today I'll be presenting on Understanding Social Movement Theories, explaining the rise and success of collective action. Social movements are something we see all around us, whether it's protests, online activism, or organized campaigns for change. But what's really interesting is that not all movements succeed. Some create major change, while others fade out quickly. So in this presentation, I'm going to break down how sociologists explain that difference. I'll focus on three major theories that help us understand why some movements grow and succeed, while others don't.
Social movements are organized efforts by groups of people who want to create social or political change. These movements usually form when people feel that something in society is unfair or needs improvement. Some well-known examples include the civil rights movement, women's rights movements, labor movements, and environmental activism. Each of these movements started with a shared concern and grew into collective action. What makes social movements powerful is that they bring people together. Instead of individuals acting alone, movements allow people to organize, share ideas, and push for change as a group. Sociologists study these movements to understand how they form, how they grow, and what makes them successful. That's where theories come in. They help explain patterns behind real-world events. The main question guiding this presentation is, why do some social movements succeed while others fail? This question is important because it helps us understand not just history, but also what's happening today with modern activism. To answer this, sociologists use several key theories. The three we'll focus on are resource mobilization theory, political opportunity theory, and framing theory. Each of these theories looks at a different factor, resources, timing, and messaging, to explain how movements work.
Resource mobilization theory focuses on how movements gather and use resources. These resources include things like leadership, money, organization, communication tools. According to sociologists McCarthy and Zald, social movements operate a lot like organizations or businesses. They need structure, planning, and support to succeed. This theory challenges the idea that movements succeed just because people are passionate. Passion alone isn't enough. Without resources, even strong causes may fail. For example, a movement without funding might not be able to organize events or advertise its message. A movement without leadership may struggle to stay organized. So overall, this theory shows that success depends heavily on how well a movement can gather and manage its resources. A great example of resource mobilization theory is the civil rights movement. This movement didn't just happen randomly, it was highly organized. Churches played a major role by bringing people together and providing meeting spaces. Community groups helped coordinate protests and events. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. helped guide the movement and inspire people to take action. Leadership gave the movement direction and purpose. Media coverage also played a huge role. When images and videos of protests were shown on television, more people became aware of the movement. This helped gain support across the country. Funding also supported transportation, events, and organizing efforts. All of these resources combined made the movement stronger and more effective, showing how important organization and support are. Political opportunity theory focuses on timing and the political environment. This theory explains that movements are more likely to succeed when conditions are favorable. In other words, the timing has to be right. For example, movements grow when governments are divided, leaders are weak or under pressure, and there is public dissatisfaction. Sociologist Sidney Tarrow explains that movements take advantage of these opportunities to push for change. Even a well-organized movement can struggle if the political environment is not supportive. But when conditions open up, movements can grow quickly. So this theory shows that success is not just about effort. It's also about recognizing the right moment to act. Framing theory focuses on how movements present their message. In order to gain support, activists must communicate their ideas in a way that connects with people's values and beliefs. According to Snow and Benford, successful movements use strong frames, or ways of presenting issues, to make people care. For example, instead of just presenting facts, movements often use emotional appeals, powerful language, or relatable stories. If people understand and relate to the message, they are more likely to support the movement or even join it. On the other hand, if the message is confusing or doesn't connect with people, the movement may struggle to gain attention. So this theory shows that how a message is presented can be just as important as the message itself. These theories are important because they help explain how social change happens. They show that successful movements are not random. They are influenced by organization, timing, and communication. Understanding these theories also helps explain why people join movements. People are more likely to participate when they feel connected to a cause, when they see opportunity for change, and when they are part of an organized effort. These ideas also apply today. Modern movements, especially those on social media, still rely on resources, timing, and messaging. So studying these theories gives us a better understanding of both past and present activism. In conclusion, social movements have played a major role in shaping history and continue to influence society today. Theories like resource mobilization, political opportunity, and framing help explain why some movements succeed while others fail. Each theory highlights a different factor, resources, timing, and messaging, but together they give a complete picture of how movements work. By understanding these ideas, we can better understand how collective action leads to real change.